If you were ever thinking about coming to this country and you don't live here now in the United States, do not come here. You hear me? It is a setup. Run. You better take your ass to Europe or something, but don't fucking come here. It's a setup.
Do you believe in American dream?
I think it's starting to collapse for a lot of people. I think it's only accessible for the wealthy people nowadays. I think times are going to get pretty hard for middle class and working people.
Amazing viewer, I'm glad you're watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, this is Comfort for Life Network. If you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate that you are coming back to watch. It's been a minute, yes. I'm here back. I want to just appreciate your love and support. Let's look at the American dream and look at some viral TikTok videos of what Americans have to say about the American dream that they believe in. Is it a myth or a reality, or can we subscribe to that ideology, or is America failing, or is it winning or failing? Or let's look at that right now. Thank you for watching.
The American dream would be able to own a home, live comfortably, have a family, not have to live paycheck to paycheck, and I don't think that's a reality for a lot of Americans right now.
For me, the phrase the American dream is actually very fitting because although it has elements of reality in it, for the most part, it isn't real.
Is the American dream dying?
Many people want to come to America for this. You see this description on top? That's the American dream. Is that a reality? Well, after living in the United States for a few years and after being able to open my own business in the United States, I would say that is a reality in America. You can come here to America and you're gonna be equally treated. It's not perfect, but it's many times better than any other country in the world. You have the opportunity to create your own future. You have the opportunity to work hard and make and look for your own benefits and for your people. The American dream is a reality, and that's why many people want to come here. Freedom is the key. Is the country of freedom. So if you have that dream, keep pushing it and do it right.
Let's look at the American dream in a more elaborate way. This clip is explaining broadly about it. So listen.
In this day and age, you're probably wondering just what the American dream actually means. The American dream is based on the belief that Americans can find their own path to economic prosperity and the government cannot stand in the way of this pursuit. Unlike some other countries, you are not required to follow your father's profession. Your destiny is not legally determined at birth by caste, religion, or gender. The idea of the American dream is that it's supposed to be an individual goal based off your values and what you hold as important. And it's because of the American dream that immigrants from all over the world often come here since its inception and still find a place here today.
But what I'm learning is the American dream is not reality for everyone, except for the privileged few.
What do you think is collapsing? What changed?
Because you have a lot of greedy people who don't want to share, don't care about anyone but themselves, unfortunately.
Fitting because although it has elements of reality in it, for the most part, it isn't real. At least that's my understanding of it. When we think of the American dream, we think of immense wealth, we think of ease, we think of a lot of integration of new ideas, right? But for most people, I would say that that's not their lived experience. Now, it certainly can be. But the other association that I have with the American dream is sort of that pull yourself up from the bootstraps mentality. And that's a mentality that we've talked about just sort of as a community in great detail, but we know that that's a toxic mentality. We know that that's not fair. And yet at the same time, it's still like deeply ingrained in the American subconscious, which is interesting because when we actually look at the math and we actually look at things that are helping out average Americans, it's not really anything to do with pulling yourself up from the bootstraps. On average, the federal government actually plays a huge role in economic stability for most Americans. Like when we look at Social Security, that's a huge equalizer for a lot of families. And in 2021, the child tax credit actually saved 2.9 million children from poverty. And I think the child tax credit actually paid out $3,000 to $3,600 per child. Anyway, the point is nothing about that is pulling yourself up from the bootstraps. And there's a common phrase that floats around these sort of initiatives, which is like free handouts. And I really don't like that phrase because I feel like that's not accurate. Because the math shows that when you give people economic stability, really only good things come from that. It only betters the local economy, it only betters the arts, it only betters pretty much everything because it gives people just a little more wiggle room to express themselves in ways that can really positively impact society. So it's like naturally the whole pulling yourself up from the bootstraps thing, it just isn't going to apply because it's just not a nuanced approach. And we're a very nuanced group of people in America. We're supposed to be the great melting pot, right? So naturally there's going to be a lot of different people with a lot of different situations. And specifically when we start talking about things like food stamps, or now it's called the SNAP program, I hear a lot of phrases thrown around like it's unfair or like they don't deserve that. And I feel like that's unfair and they don't deserve that. Everybody's just trying their best, you know, and it would seem to me that people who are born into poverty are the ones who are truly pulling themselves up from the bootstraps. And if that was enough, that would be enough, but it's not. So I guess where I'm going with this is, my question is to you guys. Is the American dream a dream worth having? Is it a dream that we need to retool and reframe to make it more practical? Or is it just something we should throw out altogether? Is it something that's like inspiring and it's worth retooling and reframing? Or is it something that actually is like a point of anxiety for most Americans? What do you think?
That the American dream as it pertains to the middle class is kind of a nightmare, and I'll tell you why. So if you compare the cost of living for the average American middle class citizen to somebody who lives in, say, like a European Nordic country where they have like Nordic countries have democratic socialism, but they still have like a high degree of private ownership, so it does retain its capitalist infrastructure. But if you compare it to like ultra-capitalist America, where everything, you have to pay for everything. So just like really obvious examples, healthcare. Healthcare is really expensive in America. Even if you have healthcare, you still have to, your copay still costs money. Private schools are expensive because public schools are not good in America, which is abysmal because public schools should be good everywhere, but you have to spend the money for your kids to have a decent education. Undergrad, post-grad, all of this stuff costs like racks up to the hundreds and thousands of dollars, where these things are either completely free or heavily subsidized in other countries. So it seems to an outsider that you're making like all of this money when in reality you're actually spending more just to exist. And that's why the American dream as it pertains to the normal average middle class citizen is a lie, because cost of living is so high in this country. Now, it's not a lie as it pertains to the elite, because it is true that you can come here and make like millions and billions of dollars, which is unique to America. You can't really do that anywhere else. But that is just what is it, like the horse and carrot theory, where like people always chase after it because they think they can get it, but no one ever can. Like it's like just the top 0.1%. But unfortunately for your average middle class citizens here, we have been bamboozled.
Like, the American dream is dead. Like, hell.
Second, I completely agree. Living in America sucks ass. We used to be able to get homes, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom homes with 2-3 bathrooms in it for maybe $100K. But nowadays, depending on where you live, you can't even afford to get in a house. You can only afford an apartment.
Allow me to interrupt at this point because, yeah, the American dream. You know, for us, let me say from where I come from, hearing that somebody has gone to America, for us, I think, as it goes even to the extent of thinking maybe money grows on trees, you just go and just pick. And yeah, when they know you've gone to America, they know that you will really be sending money, and in just 1 year or 2, or just when you get there, you'll be able to buy land, you'll be able to do exploits in your home country. But hearing this from Americans, I don't know who to believe, but negatives was so many. We'll let you continue listening to what different people have to say. If you are planning to migrate to America, or you are, you have some, let me say, if you're watching this and maybe you have some relatives in America, just know how difficult it is to really live the standard of life that we are always, the way it's being presented, things are different on the ground, seriously.
Country, live out my life happily, still be able to spend time with family and be comfortable, not having to worry about money all the god blessed fucking time. And like he said, we're not ungrateful for what we have. I'm not ungrateful for what I have. I'm very grateful for the man that I have and what he does for us. And like he said, we're not needing 4 to 5 bedroom houses to 3 to 4 cars. No. It's the ability to live comfortably in a nice home that you can be proud of, instead of trying to save constantly to get out of the little home that you're in as your family gets bigger, as your kids get bigger. Eventually, we are going to have to move out of our 2-bedroom apartment and move into either a 3 or 4 bedroom house. But saving to get there is hard ass work, when before you could have that shit within a month. Sorry, not sorry. Shit sucks, dude. I want to say what I want to say, but I can't. Because we live in a country of snowflakes. Just to quote Tom MacDonald, we went to bed with the American dream and woke up in Nightmerica. I said what I said.
This next clip is a reply to the comment up there. I will stitch it somewhere so that you get to see the comment that she's trying to reply.
This comment stuck out to me because this is what I mean by the American dream. It's a dream. It's not reality. Whatever you've been told, like, oh, we're free, we have the right to speak, we have food, we have this. My friend, no, we don't. No, we actually don't. Because the first point I want to mention, you say, we're free. No, we're not. If I want to go to China and never come back, they're going to fucking deport me and I have to come back. If your passport is expired in another country and you can't get like an emergency flight back home when you go to the embassy, you are fucked. You are stateless. You are a stateless person. You are not free. I mean, by definition, you don't belong to any country, but you also can't go anywhere. You're not fucking free. When you are a stateless person, you have zero rights. None. They don't care what happens to you or your kids. Because when you are a stateless person, you are more prone to criminals coming to you and unaliving you, kidnapping you and your kids, because you are undocumented in all ways. No one's looking for you. So when you say, like, we're free, we have rights, we can move freely. No, we can't. Now let's talk about what you said about food. We all have food. I would even argue and say, no, we don't. We have something that's edible, because a lot of the items that we receive today are so pumped with chemicals, have no nutritional value, that is actually killing people. You're just looking at the news a handful of times a month and they're recalling food back off of the shelves because there's some shit in it, because there's some kind of toxin that gives cancer, because there's some kind of fungus, because there's some kind of virus in the food. No, we don't really have food. If you really think about it. Yes, we can go to the grocery store, you can pay for items to have food. But if it's not providing nutritional value, if there's like cancerous properties in these foods, if it's not providing enough value that we need to sustain daily life to function, at least, I don't consider that shit food. And a lot of the food that they have, they put so much damn sugar in there that your fucking blood pressure shoots up when you have one damn Rice Krispie. I'm trying to tell y'all, you cannot do what you want to do in America. It seems like it, but you cannot. Because if you do too much of what you want to do, they're going to throw your ass right in jail. Unless you have the funds to bail yourself out. And that's really who this country is for, is people with money. Because you can get away with anything. You could be drunk as hell in America and kill 20 people. If you have the money for bail, you can get out. And if you got a good lawyer, you can get out.
Social media influencers, celebrities, showing us this rich, expensive lifestyle. And when we consume that media, there's like this comparison to like, why isn't my life like that? And then you kind of Google like, what can I do to like become this rich, And then it sets up like this unattainable goal because maybe some of those people who have gotten rich maybe came from rich families or had different opportunities or, classic white privilege in America. And not saying you can't move up, but it's difficult, especially now in this era. Because the American dream says that we could build whatever life that we want, but then a dream is just a dream and it doesn't really match reality half the time.
You work hard, you get a good job, you're gonna get the things in life that you need, right?
That's the lie we all bought into. The dream was you work for 40 hours a week for 40 years, only to retire on 40% of your income. People nowadays are struggling on 100% of their income. How are they supposed to live on 40%? The American dream that told us you can save your way to retirement has been a lie. If you're going to have anything substantial in retirement, you have to make your money work for you. And that's not going to happen in a regular bank account. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Einstein said, he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't, pay it. And we pay it in the form of loans. Now, when you know how to harness the power of compound interest in your favor, then you may have a chance of succeeding later on in life. Now, there's a couple different types of compound interest accounts. You can put your money in the market, but you can risk losing it. Or you can put your money in a properly structured and well-designed life insurance policy and do what the Rockefellers did. They created their own bank.
Who are not from the US grew up thinking that you'd want to visit here or move here.
Yep, that was me. I grew up with all American influence around me in the 90s, and I always thought that that would be the place where I'll end up, with this American dream and etc., etc. And after actually visiting America a few times in the past, I realized how the reality there isn't exactly how I pictured it. And a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity to actually move there. I got a call from a former colleague who said that they were hiring and they were looking for someone with my expertise. When I rejected his offer, he was pretty shocked and he asked me why. And I explained to him that from where I'm sitting, US is not really a safe country to be living in, and I wish him the best. And yeah.
All right, hey. Whether you believe it or not, it's about to be the collapse of American society. And, we can have pride in it, or we can band together and figure this out. Figure out how to survive in this. But all that stuff we were talking about, these other third world countries, they're about to be the powers, and we're about to be the third world country. Now, I can already tell, mentally, a lot of people are going to collapse. They're going to go crazy because you're so wrapped up in the system. You're so wrapped up in what the American dream has never been. Get a job, do all these things, and, getting a job is destroying people's families, first of all. Jobs have destroyed people's family. You have to put your job over your family, the people that you live with, the people that you're around all the time. That's crazy. But dead serious, we are about to see a shift in the world. And I just want to put this out there. America. The world is not America. It's bigger than America, guys. I know you guys haven't went anywhere or gone anywhere, but the world is bigger. There's continents. America isn't the only place. But anyway, I know those Christians and the religious, fanatics, they're going crazy. It's the last days. It's the last days. No. America is about to get a taste of what they've done to other people. That's it. And here's the Christians saying, oh, God's going to save us. God's going to save us. So where was God when those children in Africa were starving? Children in Asia starving, all these other places starving, children in our own country starving. Where was God when that was going on? But he's such a wrath God that you guys put out there that he's going to spare Christians in America when Christians are the ones that are in power. Politicians, look at all of them. All of them claim to be Christians. So here we are in a power shift, and it's Jesus coming back now when things are about to hit the fan. Oh, Jesus coming back now. But We're going to feel it. Hey, whether you want to think you're going to feel it or not, you're going to feel it. Your pockets are going to feel it. Your environment's going to feel it. Unless we get together and stand together and we figure out a way to survive this and we figure out a way to mentally get prepared for it. But I'll just be honest. I know what Americans are going to do. We're going to ride until the wheels fall off. We're going to gossip and do all those things. And we're just going to straight up still flex on people and one up people because we don't want to get it together. We don't. That's what they have done to us. But I believe we can, though. I still believe we have the will. We just have to stand together and we have to agree to disagree and still be together. Still be together. Hey, stay blessed out here, man. Stay up out here and keep your mental in check for what's about to happen. Okay?
If your family doesn't have much money, I want you to remember that in this country, plenty of folks, including me and my husband, we started out with very little, but with a lot of hard work and a good education. Anything is possible, even becoming president. That's what the American dream is all about.
From what I've heard, like the American dream is like a standard of life that the government like would expect an American to live, but it has to be built by strength, effort, hard work. So leave your thoughts in the comment section from what you think about. It's been a long video, you know, it's a dream and dreams are always long, so you just bear with me. And yeah, I'm glad you tuned in. So the American dream can be true if you work harder, so, and a good education. Leave your thoughts in the comment section and I appreciate your time. Bye.